Okay, we're continuing. This is video number 2. It is Friday, May 24th. This is part 2 of round 6, showing various things that inextricably intertwined relationship. You have a hate crime, you have harassment by the police, you have stalking by the police, you have harassment and stalking by former colleagues, including Anthony Kucinich and Albert Freed, and clients. You have harassment at my home, leaving the home, you have everything. And I hate crime, which is where we are right now. So we already described to you what happened on December 1st, the filings that my legal counsel made, the affidavit to OSHA investigator, as well as to SEC FINRA in regards to securities violations and fraud for Albert Freed and TD Securities that they engaged in relation to my SOX and SEC whistleblowing claim. You saw the filing that I made directly hand delivering it to New York at the Southern District of New York in federal court, and the harassment that I received going. When I came back, it wasn't as much, so I want to be clear. All that harassment was going. Typically, it's both ways. For whatever reason, it wasn't. There were cars waiting, but as I said, I don't have them because I don't have them. I only have them, me talking about them waiting. So I have so many other videos, so I'm going to move on to that, move off of that. So now we're at Saturday. So here's a hate crime. Which is basically retaliation for what we did on the previous day. So I just want to kind of go over this with you before I go over the video, so then you understand what you're going to see in that context. So my mom and I are doing lawn work on a Saturday. We have to clear the leaves, and FYI, the reason why we have to clear the leaves is because our landscapers left. And the reason why our landscapers left is because of harassment by our neighbors and these individuals that basically force our landscapers to quit. So they're being harassed, they're being told not to come here, not to do our lawn work. So my mom and I have to do the lawn work. So now we're doing the lawn work, doing the job that the landscaper should be doing, but because we're being harassed and retaliated against, and those guys are being harassed and retaliated against, we can't have landscapers do the work. We have to do it manually. We're doing it manually, and what we're having is retaliation for that also. So here we go. It starts off with Lori, who is our neighbor that lives right next to us. She waves to us and tells us, I don't know what she says, but she waves to us, which is basically a red flag in itself because we blew the whistle on her and her harassment. So when she's waving to us, that was a clear red flag that there was something going to happen, which I didn't know it was going to happen until it happened. So we had a blue van, 2 guys, Caucasian. Here's a license plate, K54ARF. Whatever it is now, it is, but that's what it was then. So here's what they do at 10:32. They pull in our driveway. This is the stuff that they say. F you, why do you care if we're in your effing driveway? So they're in our driveway. I say, why are you in our driveway? That's what he says. Effing Indians, you two effing Indians. We will end you. You and her, referring to my mom. What the F are you doing here anyway? While sticking their middle fingers out at us. We will make you 2 Indians gone forever. You understand? Okay? All right. So they said that. That's what I caught. Did they say some other stuff? Probably, but while they're driving, but they said those things, and they're basically looking at me and my mom. I go inside. I say, hold on, and wait for me, but they don't, because they know that their whole job was to get paid to do this harassment and leave, and then they return, and this is what they do when they return about 30 minutes later. So they come back, they try to go in the driveway. I say, what are you doing? And they go, basically, they drive off and say, go back to India, go back to 7-Eleven, you biatches, while laughing. Okay, so neighbors, okay? So our neighbors see all of this. They don't do anything. They don't do anything. Lori doesn't do anything. By then she's back, and other individuals are back. There's a multi-stage event. I basically outlined this in an email that I sent to the FBI, explaining that this is unacceptable, what has happened. So let's go through that email quickly. So here's the email. Dear FBI, regarding hate crimes and other crimes. So I explain all this stuff. This is an attached link. I explain what happened. I'm not going to go through all of this information right now. What they said, what they did, what has been happening to us. So at this point, it's still not clear to us why this is happening. It's not clear to me who's doing this and the inextricably intertwined relationship, although we do know that there is an inextricably intertwined relationship, but I myself is not clear why they're doing this. So I talk about what's happened with my case against Les Levy and how we prevailed and they retaliate against us, why the police are doing this. Thank you, Darren. Okay. Okay, why they're doing this, why the mayor is involved. By the way, the mayor's gone, his wife is gone. The chief of police, who we talked to, the detective Mike Credico, who's now second in charge, not a detective anymore. He's been promoted. Good for him. And everything that we did and talk about, we talk about Albert Freed, we talk about the securities violations and fraud, we talk about everything on what we know at this time, during this time that I'm writing this email to the FBI, which is not everything. So all the other stuff has been uncovered by essentially just under 7 more years of memorializing all this information and the retaliation in regards to this stuff. So I talk about all this. I talk about the police and their relationship. So I want to let the FBI know this when I send it to them. I also talk about Anne, who I think is Anne, one of our neighbors, who actually comes up, and I'm talking to her, which I'll show you in a minute in the video. Okay, so let's go through that video. And she just looks at me and says, "Oh, sorry, I don't know what's going on." And she's pretending she's not going on.
10:32.
Okay, so let's go through it. 10:32.
December 2nd, my mom and I are raking leaves. We're nearly finished. So it's harassment time. Stop sign, no. And here's the van. The ladder on top, no name. It's 2 guys, both male, one older. So this guy's waiting. I'm not saying anything to him. He's just waiting, watching us. And this guy is paid to do exactly what he's doing. Go in our driveway. And let's see, K54 ART. ARF, I'm sorry, ARF, K54 ARF. It's a Chevy blue van, multiple ladders, 2 or 3 ladders. So then he stops, I'm walking over, and then he stops. I'm saying, "Why are you in my driveway?" So he spits his cigarette, and then he says, this is what he says. He says, "Fuck you, why do you care?" And says, "You fucking Indians, we're going to," and he keeps on talking while he's driving. "Both of you guys are gone." And then I'm going, see, I'm running inside the house. I said, "Come back." See, I'm running inside the house. Okay, that's 10:33. Quite pissed off. I will write down exactly what he's saying, so I'm just capturing the video part of it in written form. So, and then that's 35. They're not gonna stop us. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna see more action. From our neighbors, they know exactly what's going on. This truck we've seen before, the pickup truck. 1, 2, 3.
So it's not Ann, it's Sherry.
Okay. I tell her what had happened about the hate crime. There she is, see?
10:41.
9 minutes later, she knows what she's doing. She's waiting in the middle of the road. Okay.
Her name is Sherry,
Enough of it.
not Ann. I thought her name was Ann.
I'm gonna tell her. Okay, I'll write down what exactly I said and what she said. She says it's a hate crime, and here's the chaperone.
So this chaperone is for
Here's the
Sherry
chaperone.
to make sure that she's okay.
See how he slows down? Here's the neighbor coming home. Hate crime? It happens all the time here. That's her reaction. Deny everything. Okay? Alright. She's waiting right here. Okay? I just told her a hate crime has happened and she agreed, and she's walking her dog. Right in front of us. And just stopping like it's a joke. Okay. Let's get 10:58. I think this is when okay, so we have this lady walking her dog. She walks her dog, has the dog sometimes poop on our property, but she's waiting on the side. Okay, while she's doing that, we're gonna have these guys come back. There they are, with the van. The neighbor. Okay, here's these guys with the van. We're raking leaves on our driveway. So, okay, so I'm coming up, pretending they're gonna go in the driveway, and then they decide not to. Open the window, give the middle finger. Okay. I tell them to come back. They said, he opens the window, see his hand? He says, go fucking back to 7-Eleven, you bitch. I said, come back here. Come back here. Okay? They're driving past the mayor and the New Jersey state trooper. That's who they're driving past at 11:02. So these guys don't do any work and come at 10:32, and half an hour later, they're back. We're finishing up. This lady witnesses it, but doesn't care. Doesn't care. She doesn't come and say, what's going on? What's going on? This shouldn't be happening in our neighborhoods. She doesn't care because she knows what's already happening. 11:02.
Okay, so we got it. All right, back to this. So I thought her name was Anne. I identify her as Anne. In the FBI email, I identify her as Anne, my neighbor, but it's not Anne, it's Sherry. Okay, so I say that here. And so I only noticed this is because as she's been harassing us for another 4 years, I'm wondering who the heck she is. So I look her up. Okay, I look her up. I Google her, and there she is. Okay, so who she is proc specialist that works from home for L'Oreal. Okay, so she works from home, and that's why she's able to do this from home. So during COVID, she was already at home, and her family is now at home helping her do this. So that's who she is. Okay, that's Sherry. Okay, and you can Google her and you can find out where she lives. I'm not going to tell you where she lives. She's my neighbor. Okay, all right, got it. All right, so I find out that her name is Sherry because she is the one in charge of engaging in the harassment, stalking, trespassing on our property on a daily basis with her dog from late 2013 until when I found out her real name, which is June 30th, 2021, right? So I look her up, I find out who she is, I find out that she's working from home, that she, along with other individuals, are intercepting my communications, cyber stalking me, and communicating within themselves. She's also, as I say in here, friends with everybody, all the neighbors in North Caldwell, my neighbors that live near me, but also North Caldwell residents, including the police. So I have videos to show you later where she literally is talking to the police, okay, and the post mailman. So she's good friends with the police as well as the mailman. And so all the interactions of multi-stage events have to do with her having the police in front of our house and basically having a meeting in front of our house. So that's a staged event. They'll have a meeting in front of our house. The mailman, friends, they'll have a meeting. They'll stay there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, basically knowing that our camera will capture that. So now I have to spend time memorializing what they're doing. And then while they're doing it, they'll go on our property, trespass. The dogs will poop on it. Sometimes she'll remove it. Sometimes she won't remove it. And it doesn't matter because what she's doing is retaliating against us, harassing us, trying to say, we don't want you here. We don't want a whistleblower here. So that's the bottom line here. And the only way they would know I'm a whistleblower is because of the communications that I'm having with Ellen, which is the next point here. Okay, so the next point is that my friend and old yoga instructor Ellen and her husband Howie is a lawyer and a former police officer himself, receiving a pension. I've explained to her that I'm a whistleblower. I explained to her that I'm a whistleblower against Albert Free, Securities, and I witnessed securities violations and fraud, and that's why I'm working from home. Okay, starting February 2015 and onward. Okay, so I'm forced to work from home. She knows this. She also knows that I'm going in civil litigation against Les Levy. She understands all of this, and instead of supporting me and my family, she basically decides to side with the related parties, and she becomes a part of the related parties and starts harassing us and intimidating us and retaliating against us and supporting these other individuals, including Sherry. So when I find this out, this is interesting. I find this out, and I say here, I have hundreds of examples of Ellen and her husband harassing and retaliating against me. So the point being, I say here that the previous day hate crime happens, Sherry is involved, and then now I look up Sherry. This is months later, FYI, actually June 30, 2021. And so when I look her up, I find out it's not Anne, it's Sherry. Her name is Sherry. And so when I find this out, that her name is Sherry at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, the same morning, okay, I find out that her name is Sherry when I Google her, and I find out her name is Sherry. at 8 o'clock. Now, let's see what happens. So I'm not going to show you all the videos. I can show it to you. Okay, thank you, Stephen. There we go. Okay. So what Howie does is stick up his middle finger to show that he knows that now I have identified Sherry, their friend, as one of the biggest accomplices of all the harassment. So here he goes. So you have him sticking his middle finger out, which is unusual because he never does that. So he walks past our house all the time in the morning and he sticks his middle finger out. Okay. Okay. There he is doing it. So I took picture snapshots to put in the filing. He looks back at me, looks back at the camera specifically. And then this is Ellen, his wife, that does it just under an hour later, 9:30, same day. And she's sticking her middle finger at me, at the camera. Okay? So you have a yoga instructor, a teacher, my friend, my former yoga teacher, and this is what she does because she rather than supporting a whistleblower and her old friend, me and my family, as she has, she decides that that's too difficult, that she's going to be harassed and retaliated, and her husband. So she sides with the related parties, including Sherry, and that she is supporting them. Okay? All right, so that's what this shows, that she's sticking up her middle finger after I identified Sherry, the same morning. So hours later, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I say here, at 8:44, how he does that, sticks his middle finger. 9:35, that's when Ellen does it. The following, thanks Chip. The following morning, it's the same thing, but now you have the police. So this is interesting. The following day, you have another stage event. So these events are happening every single day. They're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Okay? They're different, but they're doing the same thing. Okay, so here's the video. Wait, hold on. Let me just show you the pictures so you know. 816 North Caldwell, number 23. Drive past their house. Okay. This is our neighbor that lives next to us. She decides to come out. She stops. He's talking to her, explaining like what she needs to do. You have a whistleblower living next to you, and this is what you want to do. So that's essentially the conversation. I don't know the extent of the conversation, but it seems logical that that's what the conversation is about. Whatever it is, whatever the conversation is, it's choreographed. It's staged. Okay? FYI. Doesn't matter what they say. Is that they're doing it because they're doing it 100 plus times, thousands of times, not even 100. Okay, so she's dropping off her kids are being picked up. There we go, the police. So the police is intentionally driving in the cul-de-sac next to us. They do that regularly, daily, okay? Daily. They waste taxpayer money to do that. The taxpayer money that we pay and other people pay just to drive past our house 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 times a day. Because they don't have any other whistleblowers living in North Caldwell, and that's what they do. That's what they decided to do because now I'm a whistleblower against their conduct. Okay, that just shows them there.
originally elected in the state of Florida. This is going to coming up for us.
So he waits there.
At 35,000 feet. Flight attendants didn't start it, but they are.
Then he decides to go in, talk to her. That's the school bus picking up the kids. There you go. Walking her dog. Then he turns around. See? He talks to her. Whatever the conversation is, it's not good. And it's about me. That's all you need to know. And he goes in the cul-de-sac again, because let's just waste more time. And taxpayer money. Okay, so that's what happens. Okay, the cul-de-sac. Now Howie walks past an hour later and he sticks his middle finger up again. So let's see that. Because one day wasn't enough. Okay, you have a girl running, no problem, fine, normal, and he does it again, okay? Okay.
In general, the COVID news is dire enough to change minds in many southern states in particular right now. We're going to be talking tonight.
All right. It seems innocent, but when you're doing that to your friends at the camera, you're trying to send a message. And the message has been delivered even before that. So we didn't need a middle finger to know that. So you can see how you have all these inextricably intertwined relationships that can't be separated from Albert Frietti's Securities, the related parties including Les Levy, his father. I just showed you what this guy did, okay? Right? And law firm Wolf Popper, right? Here we go, Wolf Popper. Wolf Popper, okay? North Carmel police from other places, and so I have thousands of videos showing the same thing over and over again. All right, so that's it for round 6. I will post this, and then we'll go for round 7. Thank you.